If these words find you tonight, know this. You are not reading them by accident. I'm here, in this quiet space, just for you. And before we begin, if this message touches you, I'd be grateful if you'd subscribe, not just for me, but so you never miss the moments we share here, where it feels safe enough to breathe again. There are wounds you can point to, and wounds you can't. The ones you can see, people know how to respond to them. A cast on a broken arm invites signatures and sympathy. A bandage over a cut makes others cautious for you. But the ones no one sees, they are the ones you carry alone. Sometimes you become so good at hiding them that even you forget they're there, until something touches them, lightly, unexpectedly, and suddenly the pain is fresh again. Not the kind of pain that screams, the kind that whispers, the kind that seeps into your breathing, your sleep, your thoughts, like a shadow you can't shake. Emotional scars are peculiar things. They don't form neatly. They don't signal to the world that they exist. They live under the skin of your daily life, between the cracks of your sentences, in the pauses you take before answering someone's question. And here's the thing. Sometimes they bleed not when someone hurts you, but when someone cares. Because care feels foreign now. It feels suspicious. It feels like the beginning of another hurt. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. Ernest Hemingway. But Hemingway didn't tell us this. Some of those broken places don't grow strong. Some remain tender. Some ache even in the absence of touch. I think about the kind of wounds that don't get acknowledged. The way you flinch when a certain tone of voice is used. The smile you wear when someone asks if you're okay. Because it's easier than explaining. The exhaustion that follows even the smallest social interaction. You might call them quirks or habits, but they're really traces of old battles. Sometimes those battles were loud. Shouting matches, slammed doors, betrayals you could list like chapters in a book. And sometimes they were quiet. Years of subtle neglect, small invalidations, invisible dismissals. You learned to stop asking for help, not because you didn't need it, but because you learned it wouldn't come. And now, you navigate the world like a wounded animal who hides the limp, because showing the limp makes you pray. I see you, even if no one else has. There's a strange kind of loneliness that comes from having wounds no one can see. You can be surrounded by people, laughing, working, sharing stories, and still, somewhere beneath it all, you are bleeding. And you know that if you were to try and explain it, most would tilt their head and say, "But you seem fine." As if seeming fine has ever meant being fine. The hardest part about hidden scars is that the world rewards you for hiding them well. You get praised for being strong, resilient, independent. But they don't see that sometimes those words are just polite ways of saying, "We like that you don't burden us." And so you carry the weight. You carry it in your body, in your voice, in the spaces between your words. You carry it until it becomes part of how you move through life, until the idea of setting it down feels impossible. I know, because I've been there too. And the truth is, some of the heaviest things we carry are the ones we can't even name. They're not a single event you can point to. They're 1,000 tiny cuts, all layered on top of each other, until your soul feels paper thin in places. You learn to function with them. You go to work. You make small talk. You smile for photos. But beneath all of it, There's a part of you that's still pressing a hand to the place that hurts, silently, hoping no one notices. There's a reason you don't show those scars. Maybe the last time you opened up, it was used against you. Maybe someone made you feel dramatic for bleeding in the first place. Or maybe, over time, you just learned that most people don't have the patience to sit with pain they can't see. So you became your own medic. You learned to patch yourself up in quiet ways. Music at 2 a.m., long drives with no destination, standing under a hot shower until the water runs cold, staring at the ceiling in the dark, feeling the weight of your own heartbeat. These became your ways of holding yourself together. But the problem with self-stitching is that sometimes you sew yourself up too tightly. You trap the hurt inside because it feels safer than letting it out. And in doing so, you keep it alive. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Leonard Cohen. I wish it were as simple as that. I wish every crack in us automatically filled with light. But some cracks, they fill with rain. And some days, the storm doesn't pass quickly. Hidden scars change the way you move through the world. They make you cautious, yes, but also perceptive. You start to notice the small shifts in someone's tone, the flicker in their eyes when they're holding back something. You can sense disappointment coming before it arrives. It's not a gift, it's a survival skill. And while the world applauds survival, it doesn't understand the cost. They don't see the constant scanning, the quiet bracing for impact. They don't see that your body still remembers the blows, even if your mind has tried to file them away. Sometimes I think about how many people are walking around like this, perfectly composed on the outside, quietly unraveling on the inside. And I wonder, if we could see the invisible wounds on each other, would we treat each other more gently? Or would we just avert our eyes, the way people do when they pass a stranger crying in public? Maybe that's why you've stopped expecting anyone to notice. Maybe that's why you've stopped expecting anything at all. But I'm here to remind you, your scars don't have to be seen to be real. They don't have to be validated by anyone else to matter. You don't have to prove your pain for it to deserve compassion. And maybe tonight, you don't need someone to fix it. Maybe you just need someone to say, I believe you. I believe in what you've survived. I believe in the strength it takes to carry what you carry, even when no one sees it. Because I do. I believe you when you say you're tired, even if you woke up only an hour ago. I believe you when you say you can't explain what's wrong, because sometimes there isn't a clean story, just a feeling, heavy and unshakable. I believe you when you say you're trying, even if your progress looks invisible to the world outside. You've probably heard people say, time heals all wounds, but those words are only half true. Time might dull the sharpness of the pain, but it doesn't erase the memory. It doesn't undo the way your nervous system learned to react. It doesn't change the way certain words, scents, or silences can send you spiraling back to the moment everything broke. What actually helps isn't time alone. It's care. Real care. The kind that doesn't rush you. The kind that doesn't look at you like a project to be completed. The kind that can sit in the quiet with you, even when it's uncomfortable. But if you've gone long enough without that kind of care, you start to forget it exists. You start to believe you're meant to carry everything alone. You build walls around the softest parts of yourself, and you convince yourself that they're protecting you. In reality, those walls can become another kind of cage. There's a line from Rumi that says, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." But the truth is, for the light to enter, you have to open the wound. And opening it means risking the pain again. That's why so many of us keep it sealed shut. Sometimes, the bleeding isn't even constant. It comes in waves. You'll have a week, maybe even a month, where you think you're finally fine. And then, without warning, something tiny rips it open again. A song, a smell, a phrase someone says without thinking. And you're back there, in the middle of the storm, wondering if you ever really left. I know it's exhausting. I know you wish you could just forget. But forgetting isn't the same as healing. Forgetting is just putting a bandage over a wound that still festers underneath. You deserve more than that. You deserve to not just survive your life, but to live it. You deserve to wake up without feeling like you're already behind. You deserve moments where the air feels light again, where you can laugh without wondering if it's going to hurt later. And maybe that feels impossible right now. That's okay. Sometimes hope starts small, so small you don't even recognize it at first. It can be as simple as making yourself a cup of tea when you don't feel like it, or stepping outside just to feel the wind on your face, or letting yourself cry without telling yourself to stop. Small things are not insignificant. Small things are how the bleeding slows, because healing isn't loud, it isn't dramatic. It's in the quiet, steady choices you make every day, even when they don't feel like they're doing anything. It's in giving yourself permission to rest, to eat, to breathe, to exist without earning it. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to exist with your scars. You are allowed to not explain them to anyone. You are allowed to be a work in progress without apologizing for the unfinished parts. You are allowed to have days where all you do is survive, and that is enough. You are allowed to be proud of yourself for things no one else notices. The mornings you get out of bed when every cell in your body tells you not to. The times you bite back words that would have burned bridges. The moments you choose kindness when cruelty would have been easier. Sometimes, I think hidden scars are proof of a certain kind of courage. Not the loud, heroic kind that people write stories about, but the quiet courage of enduring, of showing up for life even when you're not sure you want to, of holding yourself together when you don't have anyone else to do it for you. But I also think you deserve more than just endurance. You deserve softness. You deserve the kind of safety that allows you to unclench your jaw and drop your shoulders. You deserve people who notice the subtle ways you're hurting, even when you don't say a word. If no one has told you this lately, your pain matters. It matters not because it's dramatic or visible, but because it is yours. And you matter, not for what you produce, not for how well you hide the bleeding, but simply because you exist. I know the idea of showing your scars is terrifying. I know it feels like peeling away armor you've been wearing for years. But I promise you, there are people in this world who will not flinch when they see them. People who will not treat you like you're fragile glass, but like you're a whole, complicated, worthy human being who has survived things most couldn't. And maybe you haven't met those people yet. Or maybe you have, but the walls are still too high. That's okay. You don't have to rush this. You don't have to tear the walls down all at once. Sometimes healing is just finding one brick you can loosen. one moment where you let a little more light in. You may think your scars make you unlovable, but in truth, they are proof of your capacity to feel deeply, to endure, to continue. They are not stains on your worth. They are evidence of your resilience. One day, you might find yourself telling someone the story behind one of those scars. And instead of pain, you will feel pride. Instead of shame, you will feel power. Because you will know what it means to bleed and still choose to live. Until then, I want you to know, I see the places where you're still bleeding. I see the places you keep hidden, and I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of you. You are not too much. You are not broken beyond repair. You are here, and that is enough. So tonight, if you are lying awake with the weight of unseen scars pressing on your chest, remember this: you are not alone. Even if no one has ever noticed the depth of your hurt, even if your pain has been ignored, dismissed, or misunderstood, there is someone here who acknowledges it. There is someone who believes it, honors it, and walks with you through it, even if only through these words. Healing hidden scars is not about erasing them. It's about learning to carry them differently. It's about finding ways to breathe when the memories tighten around your chest. It's about finding your own rhythm in a world that often asks for appearances rather than authenticity. It's about allowing yourself to be vulnerable without fear that your heart will be used against you again. There is a quiet power in your survival. There is a quiet bravery in your endurance. And there is a quiet promise in your willingness to keep moving forward, even when a past whispers that you should stop. Let that whisper exist, but do not let it define your journey. You have the right to carve a path where your scars do not shame you, where they do not limit your capacity to feel joy, to love, and to exist fully. Every moment you face the world with a scar you do not show is an act of courage. Every smile that masks a hidden wound is a testament to your resilience. And every small choice to care for yourself, to honor your own needs, to allow a breath of peace into your day, is a revolutionary act of love toward the person you are becoming. The wound is where the light enters you. Rumi. But remember, light does not always enter at once. Sometimes it seeps in slowly, one flicker at a time. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening at all. And yet, over time, even the smallest flickers accumulate, illuminating corners of your heart that you thought would remain in shadow forever. You do not have to prove your worth by showing your pain. You do not have to explain your scars. You do not have to justify your emotions. They are yours. They are valid. And they are a part of your story. One that deserves recognition, respect, and tenderness. So as you let these words settle tonight, I hope you allow yourself to rest. I hope you let a quiet compassion wash over the parts of you that ache. I hope you recognize the strength it takes just to exist with wounds that no one sees. And I hope you offer yourself a fraction of the kindness you so freely give to others. And if you are moved by these words, if you feel even a flicker of connection, consider subscribing. It is not just for me, it is for you. A small reminder that there is a space where your hidden wounds are acknowledged, where you are seen, and where the quiet, persistent work of healing is honored. And if you wish, share this with someone who might need to hear it tonight. Let these words be a soft hand reaching out through the dark. You do not have to fix everything tonight. You do not have to have answers. You do not have to erase your scars. You only need to be here. You only need to breathe. You only need to allow the gentle truth that you are enough to touch you for a moment. And as you do, know this. For every scar that bleeds in silence, there is recognition, there is empathy, and there is hope. Your hidden scars do not diminish you. They define the depth of your humanity, the expanse of your courage, and the beauty of your resilience. Rest now, if you can. The night holds no judgment. The darkness does not mock your wounds. It simply exists, as you do, with them and through them. And when morning comes, even if the scars remain, so does the knowledge that you have survived, that you have endured, and that you are still moving forward, step by silent step, in a world that too often overlooks the unseen battles. And that, my dear, is nothing short of extraordinary. Now, we'll leave you with calming music to soothe your nerves and bring a soft kind of peace to your inner world.